Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to Iron Crane Dojo, and we had an opportunity today to take a few minutes before class, and I thought I'd use that just to demonstrate a few of the things that we do in our practice that may give you some insight into how to approach what you do. And we're going to continue our dialogue about the bow, and I'm going to show you two control techniques with the bow that I think are really important, and if you get these, you'll be long down the road in using the bow for self-defense purposes. So the first move is a rotary move. Rotary as in a circle, and this is a control block. And it can be very big, it can be very small and very subtle. But it's very alive, and that's the whole catch to this. And the second one is a fanning block, which is driven by the body, and the same as the twirling block or rotary block, there's a lot of flow to it that you might not see at first. In fact, this almost has the appearance of a figure eight or a fluttering butterfly wing in the air. Now, those are the two general motions laid out. Let's take a look and see how they work. This is Sensei Chris Antis. He's assisting me today. And Sensei Chris, I'm going to have you stand here, if you will. And right knee forward stance. Good. And you're going to thrust that knee. Okay. Just going to do it. Okay. Now, that's a straight in thrust, and there's a couple different kinds of thrusts he could do. He could poke, thrust. He could also come over the top. He could come from the side, or he could come from this side. Okay, so let's take a look at, he's coming straight in to the center one. Okay, the energy of the bow is focused and compressed in a line. That's the first thing you have to understand. It has all this body energy here, but everything, once the attack formulates, is in this line. This is where you have to focus your awareness, because outside the line there's nothing. Nothing here. Nothing here. Now, of course, you could speculate that he'll do other things. He might kick, he might vary his position. We understand that there's a flow in the martial arts. Bring this a little bit closer, if you will. So you go back, sir. He comes in, I capture, and control and disarm. Now the disarm would be right here. Okay? Once again, he comes forward, I capture. Now, I don't have to disarm. You see, I can strike over that and penetrate through, or penetrate in and down. Okay? This would actually be the second move, which is rolling off the hip. So you can see how they begin to tie together. He comes again, capture. You can begin to see the power that the move has. And what you have to do is, if you play with this with your teacher or in your school or with black belt seniors, you develop the flow here that you need to control the energy of his body. And you can see how much energy I'm generating with this circular rotary motion. It's very powerful. Now, step back, if you will, a little bit, sir. It works for attacks coming in at different angles. So if he comes over the top to my head, I capture it. Same thing. He comes in from the side, I capture it. Okay? And the beauty of this is you can actually, he might come from this side, right side grip. Comes from this side, other way. You might have it right the first time. Comes from, that's good. Comes from this side. I down it, and I have a couple options. When I can hit, or I can take this down position and use it as a control move and change the position of his body. So that's another way of playing with this. Okay, going back, if you will. So, let's say he strikes at my right leg. again, high attacks, mid attacks, low attacks, circular rotary block works. Make sure you learn this on both sides. You'll be able to handle just about 60 to 70% of the incoming attacks. Now, the hip roll, locking with the hip roll. He comes over the top, down, hit, comes over the top again, down, rake, hit. And you can see how this is a very efficient counterpoint to the rotary block. Comes over the top, now watch this. Essentially doing a disarm using the hip rotation or the hip block. And I have a beautiful counter here. This is a devastating counter because I'm fully leveraged. I'm going into a spot on his body where his balance can be impacted. Now watch this. Because I'm controlling his center line. Okay, so he comes again, and left side. I've got his balance once again. Now this is the inverse of the rotary block. See it? Now watch what I can do with this. I roll him. Okay, because I've stolen his balance. Thank you, sir. Say he swings at me from the right side. The block becomes a strike, which is the third facet of how you use these techniques. So let's just take a look at this once again, an overview. You've got the rotary block, and you've got the hip rotation, and you've got all the possibilities that begin to open up once you experiment with these and the different applications. As a final note, what time are we at on this anyway?
7 minutes.
Okay, 7 minutes. Say it comes in with an attack, just over the top, and I'm here. What's he going to do that same attack? Now watch the bottom of the bow. See how I'm driving it into him? You can use the rotary block and the hip rotation at a different angle to dip a person to the ground. Now a lot of people will do this as a strike. As a strike, it's not nearly effective as it is when you touch, contact, and control. Okay, now when he's down like that, you've got the follow-up if you want to do it. That's something to play with. Say it comes on the left side. I'm here, same move. Knee or knee, rolling it. So you have to learn to control the knees with the bow over time. And the way to do that is he's just standing normally. Go ahead and sit your bow down, sir. And you work with a partner, and you do this, very casual. You're not doing this to hurt anybody. You decide what motion, where do you have to go to change the person's balance. How can you do that? Where do you have to go behind the person to affect their balance? And you learn all these spots, and you put those into your architecture of movement. Okay, so I think you've got a couple ideas today to experiment with and to incorporate into your general understanding of bow movement. Take that, play with it for a while. Okay, we'll talk to you further down the line. Thanks for visiting.